making a transition from the healthcare space as a chiropractor into our space, not even the fitness space, but into our space as an active life professional. That's a big, scary jump for a lot of people. Jane, welcome to the Active Life Podcast. I'm really excited to hear your story. For everybody who's listening to this, Jane is our most recent hire at the Long Beach location.
Sure am.
Welcome.
I'm glad to be here.
I want to get to know you a little bit more. Give me some of your origin story. How did we get here today where you end up making this big transition over the last month to the location lead at Active Life?
So back in high school, I had a lot of injuries, and I was highly competitive in soccer, basketball, and track. And my first big injury was a left hip fracture, and I felt like I was just thrown back into the fire. And I never felt like I was as competent as an athlete and as strong moving back into it. And I felt like there was a gap between physical therapy and the sport I was doing at the time. And then I was unleashed back out. My sophomore year was a big change. I went from a public school to a private school setting, and I tore my ACL, meniscus, all the good stuff. And in Maine, my parents at the time decided to go to Mass General Hospital, so it was like 3 hours to go get a top surgery. And unfortunately, it never felt the same after. And then I fell into the rabbit hole of the good old female perception of what a soccer player should look like. So I went through a hard time with an eating disorder and not building back the strength. So I was going through a very hard time as an adolescent, and I didn't have that support system. Moving forward, I watched my brother go through an ACL reconstruction, but a fractured kneecap 6 months after. So our family was full of it. Yeah. But I felt like there was always a gap between physical therapy and strength and conditioning, especially since we were highly active kids and romping around in the Maine woods. So I went to undergrad at Merrimack College for sports medicine, pre-physical therapy. And yet again, I felt like I got a good foundation, but I left with a year, 4 years under my belt. And I moved back home for a year because I didn't know where to go. And the only transition next was physical therapy school. But my heart wasn't in it. So I shadowed orthopedic surgeons, chiropractors, OTs. I went into a neuro clinic, shadowed that, and student loans were coming, and panic came in. So I settled, I felt like at the time, for chiropractic.
Okay.
Because personal training at the time, you could get your CSCS, your ACSM, but you didn't know how to run a business. I was in Maine, which I felt like that clientele, it was hard because they didn't know what you were doing. And I would work at the YMCA and not have a good foundation. So I went to chiropractic school, and I was 3.5 years. I then moved to Virginia and went through a pretty rough patch through there. I watched my dad go through stage 4 colon cancer and watched somebody who was this fit, strong guy throwing canoes up on his back, carrying us as kids, wither away. And it was all because he wasn't taking care of himself. He was also in the healthcare system as a physician's assistant, and he would take care of everybody else but himself. And I found myself as a chiropractor working as an associate following that path. Moving from there, I lost my dad and my person that always helped me with confidence. So I dug headfirst into CrossFit and Olympic lifting, and re-injured my knee, kept re-injuring it because I didn't know how to stop with an athletic mindset. And I saw Sean on YouTube, but at the time I was so headversed into CrossFit and strongman and all the things that I didn't think I needed it at that time because my knee wasn't that bad. And then moving from there, I was in a CrossFit gym in a facility where everybody was coming in with shoulder aches, pains, and it, pukey, right?
Yep. Pukey the clown.
Yeah. It was a part of that go harder, even if it hurts. And what is that quote? It's like pain is weakness leaving the body.
Yep.
That was hard, ingrained in my head from high school, and I just kept just digging my head down and doing the thing, which I didn't know there was like the top of the mountain.
All right, so we've got this. You're into CrossFit, graduated school. Are you practicing chiropractic yet?
Wait, hold on, what?
So you went to school, right?
Yeah.
You found CrossFit, started doing that as like
Yeah, I was
your
practicing.
training modality, and you're practicing CrossFit.
Yeah. So
Or you're practicing chiropractic rather.
Yeah, I graduated from chiropractic school and immediately went down as an associate. And then my husband's gym, I worked at Old Glory Gym as their chiropractor in the facility.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you're helping the typical CrossFit athletes with all of the shoulders, the aches, pains, just help me get back to CrossFit.
Yeah. And as Dr. Sean has definitely said, and I can attest to that, it was crazy during the open time because people just wanted Band-Aids to get back out there. And I felt like yet again, something was missing. I felt like I wasn't living up to what I want my life to be like. And I know that there's something better.
Are you coaching at this time, doing like any sort of exercise, personal training as you're practicing chiropractic?
Yes. So I was coaching full time, doing the 6 a.m.s at Ashburn CrossFit, and I was seeing patients from basically 8 a.m. until like 6, and then I was training in between times, sometimes doing 2-a-days.
Okay.
So my cup was very full.
Yeah, my cup overfloweth.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Do not recommend.
How'd you end up finding Active Life?
Dropped into my DMs, and I was like, nah, I'm too busy. And I think that I was so stuck in that mindset of just go that I didn't see like the opportunity. And then all of a sudden they dropped into my husband's DMs. And then I believe it was Nick got Jason on a call, and Jason was selling the gym at the time. And Nick was like, I don't want to talk to you. And immediately they switched the camera over to me. And it was probably the best thing that happened. So thanks, Nick.
Nice work, Nick. Shout out to Nick and the sales team. All right, so you're doing that. You decide to start to work with Active Life. Was there ever like a moment for you that it became really clear that you wanted to do something more than what you were doing at the time? Because you were doing a lot. You were coaching CrossFit. You were helping people as a chiropractor. What was the transition point for you?
I think I was so burned out from being an associate. Jason and our good friend Steve, hi Steve, sat me down because I wasn't sleeping and my hair was falling out, high stress, my knee was terrible. Going back to that, I had gone to an orthopedic and basically was told that I had tricompartmental arthritis and I need a partial knee replacement. I was side shuffling up and down the stairs. I was doing CrossFit and loading the knee and then coming home and basically crying. It was terrible in the bathtub trying to make my knee move. And they knew that. They watched me and they told me something needed to change. And I needed to hear that at the time because I felt like that was the only way, is to just keep seeing patients, grinding, and this is what it was.
Okay, so you start working with Active Life. You go through the education.
Yeah.
Right, you start working through the education. What changes for you? What changes did you notice in yourself? What changes did you start to implement? Because you had your own business.
I thought the education pieces, it gave the why. A lot of being in a healthcare facility, they're always like, let us find the root cause. But I feel like in that setting, because of burnout, because of the time you're with patients, because of insurance, there's a lack of figuring out that root cause. And I felt like you guys really created an educational platform for trainers, but not only like us as healthcare providers, a good blueprint. And I think that was a big reason. It's also the mindset stuff. I dove headfirst into that, and Mark actually did Be Do Have, and I just did it again with Chris. It was a lot of, if I could transform who I am currently to who I would love to be for myself, but also for my patients and clients, that was a big, big win.
Yeah, the personal development side of it.
Yeah, and I dug headfirst into that.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's a prerequisite for being a professional. Like you can be a good coach and a good trainer without that. And you know, the coach and the trainer really focuses on how do I change the client? How do I become sometimes? And obviously there's other sides of the bell curve, right? But often in that environment, we interpret ourselves as the hero of the story. We're going to save the client.
Yeah.
And that's not our role.
Yeah.
Right? We're the guide. We're empowering the client to save themselves. And we're there to provide the education, the mentorship, and the exercise that allows them to become the type of person that they want to become.
I think the pain guidelines were a huge factor of that. I didn't know the right language to describe that to my patients, and I immediately started implementing that whole aspect of the education I learned from you guys, but it also helped me as well. And then just the definitions of sprain, strains, short, tight, stiff, I thought was also super valuable. Load versus capacity. It made it easy. And, you know, we have so much different language as doctors and we learn it, but if we're not able to articulate that to our clients, then we're not masters of what we do. So thank you.
Yeah. All right. So you're going through the education. You end up, you have your own business, right? You end up creating a lot of success in that own business, not only the chiropractic side, but the training side. Why make a transition from owning your own business, creating success, to working as an employee at a facility like Active Life in Long Beach?
The business side was challenging, but it was doable, but I was spending more time on the chiropractic side. It was also billing. So we had decreased down taking insurances, but I also felt like I was spending more time doing that business side where I loved working with the clients and creating programming. And at Active Life, you also have a team, and I love collaborating with people. And I found myself scheduling calls with Mark or reaching out to Dr. Kalen and seeking out people. And I felt on Lonely Island, even though I was working with my husband. But I definitely, growing up on team sports, I love collaborating and working with people. I like seeing different, things that they're good at, because I don't know everything.
Sure.
And how I can help somebody.
So being a part of a team again was big for you.
I made that a very long.
That's good.
Long around the world.
That's good. This is what this long form podcast is for. All right. So you make the decision you want to be a part of a team again. That makes sense to me. What did it look like? What was the process like for you between, hey, I want to be a part of a team again? Because I imagine you could have gone and been a part of any team. Why Active Life's team?
Because you guys helped me. I think you helped me you guided me up the mountain, and I'm able to now choose and transform to who I want to be. Right. So, Dr. Sean did send my resume to Peter Attia's group, but I know you guys were so helpful. If I needed help in the Slack channel, someone was answering me. If Instagram, there was a lot of support.
So, all right, you're down to be a part of a team. You have all of the support that you need. You have to make a move, right? So you came from Virginia.
Yeah.
To Long Beach, New York. What was that experience like for you? Because I imagine there was some hesitance and some trepidation moving initially.
Yeah, I think the time crunch was big. But I understood that I could grow here and you guys would hold my feet to the fire. Like every day that I've been here, I've learned something new about myself, but also just new in general with exercise prescription and with clients and interactions. Where being my own business owner, I had to hold my own feet to the fire all the time, and it was hard sometimes.
Yeah, it can be. So what is it about the mission that's inspiring to you? You know, empowering a life of freedom without compromise and helping our clients live more and hurt less.
I think like most of my clients that I had in Virginia or patients, it was I'm 50, this is it. Or my shoulder's always going to hurt even when I do pull-ups. I'm just going to deal with it. And live more, hurt less, and living a life with balls.
A life of freedom without compromise.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that mission statement because there's growth there, and I think if people have that guide, they're going to be successful even as they age and as they get older.
Yeah, I can agree. And we've seen that time over time and client over client just at the facility we have here. You have a recent maybe moment that has happened? I mean, you've been a part of the team for a month, almost a month, a little over a month, about a month.
Maybe.
Is there anything that you're working with clients, you're doing Ascend sessions, you're in with consultations? Is there a moment that's happened for you over the last month that you're especially proud of? Outside of packing everything up and moving a few hundred miles.
What am I proud of? I think it's going out of my comfort zone and just throwing myself into the thing. Usually I'm more hesitant and practical. I need everything laid out. And of course I do have a husband that did write out financials, but he was super supportive and knew that it would be a great opportunity because, like I said, you guys would hold me accountable and help me grow as a person, which will help overall. So why not? Where before, when I felt stuck, I would just stay. So, yeah.
Okay, I love that. Who's your favorite type of client to work with? Why?
Favorite type of client is the person that thinks that this is it, that they're always going to be this way, that they're,
Yeah, the person who has those limiting beliefs.
Yes.
That this is just as good as it gets. This is what happens when you turn 50 or 60. How has, in the time that we've been together so far, how has, working at Active Life, how has it changed the way that you think about helping people or your approach to helping people, if at all?
Can you reword that question, sir?
Yeah. So, look, you have a depth and breadth of experience. You've gone through the education. You were a business owner. You worked with clients both on the medical side and the fitness side. Have you started to notice any changes in yourself and the way that you're approaching clients or considering helping them just in the time that you've been here so far?
Yeah, I feel like I didn't do a lot of group classes, so Ascend. So it's been really fun to train multiple people in a setting, and it's been a good challenge on, looking at different programming and having to triage or help or just have fun with them. I think that's one of the biggest things. And then just watching, people enjoy the workouts that they have, and they're all individualized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this interesting value proposition, because I used to own a CrossFit gym too, 2 of them. And the value proposition is people are going to have fun because they're doing the same thing, scaled and modified to them. That's where the fun is. It's in the community, the energy, the atmosphere. And what you're describing is you can create that same feeling of enjoyment in a fully customized setting.
Yes.
And people have a good time because they're with people, and they're also working on the things that are most important to them. They're not working on the things that the methodology or the ideology tells them are important to work towards.
Correct.
Let's zoom out a little bit. I want to, as we close this, you've been here for a little while, right? I want to know, when you're not coaching, what do you like to do?
We are definitely seeking fun stuff outdoors. So we've been to dog parks, because I guess you can't take your dogs on the beach here.
Yep.
But that's okay.
No
We're
beach,
finding
no
it.
boardwalk.
And Coda and Loki have really, really enjoyed that. And then we've just been taking them on walks multiple times, because Coda's my German Shepherd puppy, and she's super crazy. And if you don't walk her, she'll make your life a little crazy. We still have so many things to explore, and the community's been great. I think what I didn't realize, and Sean kind of brought up too, is that everybody's active here, even the kids. Like, they're outside biking, which I grew up doing that, and living in Virginia for so long, I didn't see kids outside doing fun stuff. They were at sports practice, and I think one of my patients told me one day that he went fishing, and I'm like, stop, because they just don't go outside. They're just sports or as I ruined that with the microphone,
So sports
or education.
Got it.
Yeah, it was all just sports and education, and I like seeing the kids going to the beach and having fun and like doing the cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a very active. It's very walkable, very bikeable. I mean, you go down to the boardwalk any day in the summer, and there's a bunch of people out there.
Yeah.
The weekends, there's more people than I would like there to be, but that's just what happens in the summer.
Yep. I think we still have to explore like hiking, which we love, and then I guess, reading.
I know one of the big barriers for you in the beginning was you're a mountains and trees type of person. Have you got a chance to explore anything?
Yeah,
that way yet?
Went to, it's up in Port Washington. There were some hiking trails out that way. And then me and Jason were talking about it. I grew up near the ocean. I didn't realize how much I missed it.
Oh.
So like, not having mountains, okay. Having the ocean, even talking to my sister-in-law, like, I didn't know I even missed it this much. So it's really cool having it this close.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
I think one of the misconceptions people have when they're thinking about, because look, we're opening the second location in Port Washington, the place that you were just talking about. Everybody thinks about New York, and they have one idea in their head of what New York is. Yeah. It's busy, it's packed, there's a lot of people, there's not a lot of space outdoors. And that's certainly true for small parts of New York, but it's a big state, and even Long Island is a big area, and there's a lot of opportunity there just in Long Beach.
Well, we were looking at the Berkshires too, and then I think there is some hiking, like upstate New York's amazing, because Seneca Falls, like that's where I was at chiropractic school, so Jason's super excited for that.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's something that someone listening to this might be surprised to learn about you?
Oh boy. I play the saxophone.
Still?
I can dabble.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I like that. I've been saying it for years. Like, you just don't hear enough saxophone lately.
Is that what you say?
In music. For sure. Every time I hear a saxophone in a song, I'm like, oh, yeah. Or any sort of horn. You're just like, yeah. You just don't hear that that much.
It's true. It's true. Most people wanted to play the flute or the clarinet, and I was like, nah, I'm going to be like Lisa Simpson. So.
Solid.
Yep.
Is there a piece of advice that you would hope that someone over that 50 years old would hear in regards or relation to their health and fitness?
It's not over. And I think learning from watching my dad go through what he did is you can always ask for help. And like, if you want to play with your grandkids and get up off the floor, and you still have a chance to, it's just finding the right help.
Yeah, it's huge. Well, I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
Last question. Piece of advice you would give to someone, because we are hiring for the second location. What's a piece of advice you would give someone who's considering making a big move?
Big move. I think financials is a big thing, making sure that you're confident and comfortable. And if you talking to your spouse and making sure that they're confident and comfortable to make a big transition. Yeah.
Yeah, when you have a family, it's a team decision.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jane, this has been a pleasure for me. It's been great to get to know a little bit more about you. It's been great having you as a part of the team. You know, your expertise, your experience, you're already starting to help the team that we have at Long Beach. And I'm excited for you to continue to grow over the next few months, step into more of the leadership role as the team lead, more consultations, more team captain. I think we are very lucky to have you on the team, and I'm very grateful that you said yes to the opportunity.
Oh, thanks, guys.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Cody.
I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Active Life podcast. If you did, please head to wherever you listen and leave us that 5-star rating. It really does go a long way. 5 stars goes a long way. Please leave them. If you're interested in working with us as a coach, remember, we help coaches from around the world build fulfilling careers, working with clients they're inspired to help so they never have to worry about being able to pay your bills again. No one's ever going to ask you if you are going to get a real job when you work with Active Life. All you have to do, head into the show notes, click the link that you find there, download our curriculum. That will give you a feel for what it is going to take for you to be successful. A team member of ours will reach out to you to find out if it's a fit for us to work together. Till the next show, turn pro.